Federal Reserve yesterday cut its key interest rate by another quarter point. Does that mean relief is on the horizon for you, the consumer? What's it all mean? Paul Schatz has the answer. He's the president and founder of Heritage Capital, LLC. Nice to see you.
You too, my friend.
Listen, this has been a crazy year business-wise. And for a while there, the conventional wisdom was we're not going to cut the rates, and now we did cut the rates, or did we cut it enough, or should we ignore it? So lay it all out for us.
So first, the Fed is almost always wrong at key turning points. That somehow when they go into a room to become a member of the Fed, they change their DNA and they say, let's be late, always be late. And so the Fed is late yet again.
Okay.
So I'll get a little wonky. The 2-year Treasury, which is simply the 2-year bond for people who invest in Treasuries, leads the Fed. That tells what the Fed to do. That's been telling the Fed to cut rates 2 to 3 times. The Fed has been woefully wrong because they continue to fight the wrong battle.
Are they playing cautious, not knowing what's up with jobs and inflation and whatnot?
I wouldn't say they're playing cautious. Inflation is now, we're going to round the number and call it 3%.
Okay.
That is the long-term average for inflation in the United States. It spiked in the late 70s, early 80s. It spiked in 2022, 2023. That is no longer a problem. Right. It hasn't been a problem. 3% is the new 2%. I don't say this cavalierly. People have to get used to it. That's the average.
Yeah.
The Fed should have cut a while ago. They're playing catch up now. There is another cut coming.
Right. When? Who knows? Now let's talk about how this plays in at home, because when you see that number go down by a quarter basis point, you think, okay, does that mean my credit card rates are going down? Does that mean my car rates? What are we talking?
You're taking my answers.
Okay.
So yes,
I've been studying you.
Very good. So when the Fed cuts rates, the bank, so here's what happens. If you have money in high yield savings or CDs, that immediately goes down.
Right.
Banks don't wait.
Sure.
Credit cards, auto loans, anything short term that's based on what's called the prime lending rate, that will go down a quarter point. It will take a week, 2, 3. It's the holidays, so people still want to take their time on things. But yes, if you're a borrower, your rate goes down roughly a quarter point. Your credit cards, etc. This does not impact mortgages.
And that was where I was going, because the housing market has been watching very carefully. And of course, this is after a few years of having the rate rock bottom, and it's climbed, but it is backing off a little bit thanks to.
Right. So it's a 30-year mortgage, which most Americans probably have, is not impacted at all by what the Fed does. The Fed only controls the overnight lending rate to banks. And that means just short-term stuff. Mortgages are controlled by the 10-year interest rate, which the Fed does not set. The market sets it. Like if you were trying to buy Apple or Google, there's buyers and sellers. They set the fair price.
10-year rates at about 4.1, 4.2. Is that good? Is that bad? How, what do we want to see that do?
4% has been the low end of my range for all year. And I would have said, you can basically sell bonds when they go down to 4% and buy them back at 4.5%. I think rates, long-term rates, mortgage rates, if you will, are in a range.
Yeah.
That's only going to change, really, if there's a perception of negative growth or a slowdown in the economy or an actual recession.
Well, we don't have time to get into it, but I mean, if you say there's going to be another cut, the question is there going to be another Fed chair, which may lead to more cuts that the president wants?
There will be another Fed chair next year, and there will be more cuts coming. Yes.
Stay tuned. I've been studying. Come on,
we're going to work together
there you go.
in your next career.
Paul Schatz.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
Likewise, guys. Back to you.